Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause of sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Breaking news information in the Sebastian Rogers case that I reported on several days ago about this unscrupulous PI hired by the mom and stepfather of Sebastian Rogers to run interference. We broke that he was holding critical information in the Sebastian Rogers case by withholding the information related to the 3 a.m. car seen on the outside of their house where flashlights appear to be approaching that vehicle. Now, all of a sudden, it's back to being a trash truck, which couldn't be further from the truth. Moreover, he's saying the field of sight is much different than what it truly was that evening. Moreover, we have photos depicting what that camera footage would have looked like and the angle of that camera from my trip in June. Now, this distraction is after the revelations of 5 Department of Children and Family Services reports on either the mom or the stepfather in the home of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Now, here we go again. Another distraction, all from the Proudfoot camp. This is a distraction from the step-grandmother of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, is now throwing more distractions out there and going back to Seth is this pedo. But when we were talking to Yada, the cousin and family member of Katie Proudfoot, we learned she had a boyfriend and she was only in the state of Virginia around Seth for a limited amount of time when she was younger. They didn't meet until much, much later in life. Around 18 and a half years old was when they crossed paths again. They obviously fell in love, got married, and had a child. So the distraction campaign is running rampant, and the question we have to ask is why? And my opinion is they are absolutely terrified of the information law enforcement must have against them. I have no idea what is going on, but every time we start seeing these types of actions from persons of interest in a disappearance or death, we know we're sniffing up the right alley. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Bullhorn Betty channel for critical updated information related to the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers and other crime cases. God bless.
Let me tell y'all something. You ain't got to ever worry about getting nobody back for some shit they done did to you. Because quiet as it's kept, everybody working get paid. Let me break that down so you understand what I mean. Everybody working getting paid. See, some of you motherfuckers don't even know that you're working. But payday comes after a while, bitch. You being messy? You're working. You gossiping about people? You're working. You stealing, lying, cheating, or just all around doing some fuck shit? You're working. And payday is on its motherfucking way. Ha ha! Let me tell you something, you working motherfuckers. Some of you bitches got overtime in that bitch too. Ooh, that payout gonna be good. So when you get your check, bitch, don't complain. You worked for it.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
What is up, my beautiful people of YouTube? It's nice to see you this wonderful Wednesday, hump day. What day is it? It is hump day. It looks like we are working our way to our goal of turning the phones on. It's nice to see everybody here this morning. Good morning, Sonia, the first in chat. It's nice to see you, my love. I hope you're doing well this wonderful morning, as well as everybody on my mod squad. Do not forget to tell the mods thank you for all of their work on making it a wonderful and peaceful time in our chat. It was not always that way, just FYI. So it is a great deal to do with the moderators of this chat. So thank you guys for everything you guys do. Melanie, Brenda, River is up in the house. Southern Grammy Wolf, it's nice to see you. Miss Holly, Drew is up in the house. Woo, 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 woo. Dee, it's nice to see you. Our beautiful Yada is here this morning. Good morning, Robin. Kendra, SPED teacher. Bullhorn Betty is present. Truth in Time says, I think the Proudfoots and the Socks think they are better than everyone. Kathy, Sweaty Socks, obviously has made excuses for her son's behavior his entire life. Amen to that. Amen to that.
Eeyore Blues, nice to see you. Jen, it's nice to see you as well. Barb. And we got SBED teacher that says, we will find Sebastian Rogers. Thank you, BHB, for all you do. Also, all our supporters that is supporting Sebastian. Let's pray and hope that we find Sebastian. Thank you so much for that. Good morning, Karen. It's nice to see you. Good morning. I want to be here, but I have to visit a loved one in the ICU soon. Oh, prayers for your loved one. Prayers for your loved one. Prickly Pear, it's nice to see you. Our beautiful Melanie is up in the house. I wonder if all this SF stuff is a way to taint a future jury. I do believe there is a strategy here in this particular situation. Absolutely. Stella, good morning. And I'm just going to say good morning to a few other people. And then we're going to get started. We have almost 400 people in chat. Please do not forget to hit the thumbs up button. We work very hard here, not just the moderators, but all the people behind the scenes that are sending information and trying to keep this boy top of mind. Good morning, VA, dancing away. Angelina, YouTuber, Gigi for life. Our beautiful Sandy, it's nice to see you. And main mom of 3. Everybody else, good morning. It's VA said he's twerking. Oh, that's too much. You're twerking. It's nice to see you, Sandy. Thank you so very, very, very much. I do appreciate all. Oh, look at that. Michelle gifted 1 Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, please don't forget to tell her thank you. Our YouTuber up in the chat, CB's latest post. Not today, Satan. Amen to that. Amen to that. It's nice to see you all. Good morning. Good morning. Holly S. is up in the chat. Thank you so much, Love Bug. I hope everybody is doing well this morning. I'm just trying to get down to the bottom, make sure I'm not missing. I mean, I missed a lot of people, so I give you guys a blanket good morning. I see Caroline in chat. It's nice to see you, Callie. As I'm moving on down, I'm just grabbing names. Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Carguy are up in the house. Amanda, it's nice to see you. Our beautiful Gypsy is here. She's ready for the phones to be turned on. We didn't meet our goal last night. Hopefully we meet our goal this morning. And we can get these phones turned on. I know you guys have a lot to say today, especially in light of all the...
Oh, come on now. That ain't even bullshit. That's horse shit.
Just saying. Not playing. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. God bless you. God bless you. It looks like we will be making our goal today. We didn't make it last night, but it looks like the phones are on. They're already set up. I got them set up just in case. Lady Roses, it's nice to see you. So we've been covering the case of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers since March, literally right after it happened. We all converged onto the area. I did not. I was having automobile issues, but paying very close attention and had some people of mine out there in the field and people that I had collaborated with to feed some information. Oh, thank you, Phil. God bless you. Feed some information to me from the ground floor. Thank you, Veronica. God bless you guys. And we learned a lot. There was a lot of rumors up front, especially about Katie having a boyfriend. We kind of debunked that. Nobody saw a guy going into her house, just to let you know. So we've been very fair here. Delilah's kind of a jelly bean this morning, so don't mind. She's just, I don't know, just needs to lay on me. She can't get situated for some reason. But we have gone through this case enough. Oh, thank you, Yeda. God bless you. Katie knew Seth as a young teen. He lived at her daddy's home in Virginia Beach. She babysat for his ex. Exactly. But according to you, just to clarify, they weren't fooling around. I mean, she didn't meet up with him until much later, because when she came back around, she was already involved with another guy, if I'm not mistaken. So we've got some major issues going on related to this case with Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. All of a sudden, we have all of these distractions trying to point the finger, knowing that Seth has been cleared. But instead of trying to find ways to find or advocate for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, instead they choose to try to defame Seth Rogers, which makes you wonder, why are they spending so much time to defame a man that has nothing to do with the disappearance of their child instead of just looking for the child and dealing with this elsewhere. It's because, in my opinion, there's something to hide there, something major to hide there. So that's why we're getting all of these distractions all of the sudden. We learned not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, that there were, 5 CPS reports, 5. And once we learned of these 5 CPS reports, it seemed like the gateway of
Warning, bullshit alert.
Gates flooded open, right? They flooded open. So let's go back. Oh, thank you, Nanette. Okay, I think we're there. Hold on. Let me go over here to the side and see where we're at. Hold on. I'm on. Yeah, I can only get this stuff from several different screens, and I'm never on the right screen to see where we are. But I wanted to tell you, because if we meet our goal, I want to make sure that you guys know we will be opening the phone lines. But it looks like we're closer to our goal today than we were yesterday. So I think that the phone lines will get open. Let's just see. Where are we on our goal? Okay, we got 6 out of 10 of the goals. So it does look, we need 4 more, but it does look like we will meet that goal. So we'll just start. We'll start having a thought that at the end of this, what I've got to explain, we will be opening up the phone lines. I'm absolutely sure within the next hour, we're going to get those other 4. So we'll just go ahead and move toward. We're going to be opening up the phone line. So if you guys would like to call in, please stick around until the end of the show where we open up the phone lines. It's nice to see everybody this morning. And again, we're going over Sebastian Rogers and all these distractions that are now coming in. Oh, thank you, Sandy. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. Sebastian's army, Sebastian strong. Amen for that. Amen for that. So yesterday we learned a few things. Well, actually, it was a couple days ago we learned a few things. And let me play that video for you, and then we'll get started. Guys, we have breaking news in the Sebastian Rogers case related to an unscrupulous PI working for the mom and stepfather withholding information critical in the Sebastian Rogers case. What am I referring to? Sebastian Rogers is a 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared from inside his locked home where he was allegedly staying with only his mother. Somewhere in the middle of the night, around 3 a.m., a lights video was seen on the outside of their home. What is that? It appears to be 2 people with a flashlight heading to an unknown vehicle on Stafford near the intersection of Kellen. We learned of this information when Nick Barrist dropped this video for the world to see. At this moment, we're hearing that this unscrupulous PI that works for the mother and the stepfather of Sebastian Rogers knows the identity of those inside that very vehicle. I ran the story yesterday on my YouTube channel, and what I found out was that he had not turned that information over to law enforcement. So I brought that up on my live, and then he acknowledged my findings. We are now demanding that this unscrupulous PI, SF Investigates, turn all information over to law enforcement so it can properly be investigated. Please join our fight as we demand justice for Sebastian Rogers. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Bullhorn Betty channel here on TikTok as well as YouTube. And please let me know your comments below. God bless. Okay, so now that you guys are familiar with what's going on in this case, we have another distraction. This wasn't the big enough distraction for them. So now we have another one. I want to get to Misty's, and we have now met our goal. So we will be turning the phones on. When a mother of a missing child can repeat their child's last words ever said to her before her son went missing without crying or losing her ish, she's guilty. Innocent mothers could be overcome an uncontrollable emotion, in my opinion. I agree. Their lack of emotion, lack of urgency, and inconsistencies in their stories are what's leading many of us to believe that they are responsible for, at minimum, of something. Thank you, Gypsy. God bless you. At minimum of something. Okay. So that's where we are today. Now, I want to go back just a little bit to where all these distractions. This is prior to these new distractions. Before, we had distractions from the paid hate channels that were working for the benefit of the mom and stepdad. Now we're dealing with the alleged hired PI and the stepfather's mother and her shenanigans. If you guys remember, just on his birthday, she sat there and argued with people all day long about why they're not going to say anything to wish Sebastian a happy birthday other than just wishing the boy a happy birthday. She starts stating how all these CPS reports are false. They don't exist, and that it's only coming from, remember, at this time, it was only coming from this grifting father that just wants to make money off this boy. Well, that wasn't damaging enough. So now they have to recirculate some of this SF
That was bullshit.
SF.
Bullshit detected. Take precautions.
SF.
Bullshit level DEFCON 5.
Just to make sure if the people in the back couldn't hear what I was saying. Oh, let me just do it one more time.
Oh, come on now. That ain't even bullshit. That's horse shit.
So that type of malarkey that is being peddled by SF, this unscrupulous PI that has peddled that, listen to this. If this was true, let's talk about this, and then we're going to go back and step back just a little bit. If the whole thing with Seth and Katie, them being together at such a young age, she was just barely out of diapers, right? Okay. If that were true, why are we hearing about it now? And why have we never heard it from the mother herself? And moreover, why, when Tony spoke with them way at the beginning, when he was trying to be the spokesperson for everyone so they could have one distinct message for the entire family instead of this side and this side, so there would be no sides. That was the whole purpose of Tony, if you guys recall. And he sat down and spoke to Seth. Then he sat down and spoke with the mom and the stepfather. And he specifically asked her about these allegations, and she flat out denied them to Tony. Flat out denied them. This is way earlier, and absolutely said no, and corroborated the story that was being told by Seth. Then we had several content creators say that this was true. And we've maintained that it is not true, that Seth did not get with Katie in a romantic relationship until after the age of 18. And it wasn't 18 years in one day. It was literally, he ran back into her when she was like 18 and a half years old. They got into a relationship. They got pregnant. They got married. They had Sebastian. Sebastian had some problems. She ran off to the Navy. That's what happened. So we knew that these things were circulating back then. But see, the damage control that this unscrupulous PI is doing can be easily, with accurate and factual information, be debunked. Okay? All of his information related to these, now it's not one car, it's two cars. Did you guys notice that? He actually increased the amount of cars that were there on that road. Even the Uber driver did not go on that road. He went down and around to Devon, whatever, Court, whatever, to pick up. And I think that they said that they believed that was around between 5 and 5:45, somewhere in there. So there was no other car on this road. There was just one prior to the garbage truck coming on that road. Miss Bobby, at the end of that interview, says more. She even elaborates on that and states that the only car that was seen on that road in any video that night was the one that stopped for 3 to 5 minutes. So we know for a fact that the nonsense that he said is bullcrap. Also, I went and checked his channel this morning, and he's putting over the video, acting like we did not have the original video from the beginning. We only had the clip video. We have not just had the clip video. We personally clipped the video that we wanted to use. the video that he said was the entire video is the entire video that I also saw. And at the end of the day, that shows a car pulling up for 3 to 5 minutes and lights going to the car and the lights turning on in the car. That's what it shows. So this is all being debunked. So since this is not hitting the kind of distraction level that they need, Mommy Dearest comes aboard. So what was all this about? Well, we can pinpoint one thing that caused all of this start to come out. And it was this video right here on Mr. and Mrs. E Crimecast. Before we get started with Mr. and Mrs. E Crimecast, I heard that they're dealing with some family medical issues right now. I'd like everybody, I know that a few of the details, I'm sure that they've talked to their channel about them. It's not my place to talk about their personal private business. But what I will, why is people saying prayers for Mob Crew? Did something happen to him? Lady Roses, let me know. I'll monitor the chat here in just a second. But we want to make sure that Mr. and Mrs. E Crimecast, they're part of our Sebastian's Army family, and they need all the love and the prayers from this community as humanly possible. They're dealing with something, I'm sure, that's pretty much rocking their boat and has them dazed and confused right now. So I just want everybody to please, if you guys can, show support for our friends, Mr. and Mrs. E Crimecast and their family, by putting some prayer hands in the chat today, and also keeping them in your thoughts and prayers throughout today and throughout this week and into next week. I'm sure everything that we can do to help them in a spiritual way is really is going to help them and benefit them. Prayer moves mountains, and sometimes when you're in a pinch, those mountains that need to be moved through the help of others get moved. So I just want to tell everybody, thank you for your love and support of them. We definitely love and support them on this channel, and we want them to have, and their son to have the best possible life and fun and everything. And I can't imagine how scary this must be for them to go through. But we are here for them no matter what. And we just want to send our love and our thoughts and prayers to them today and throughout the week. So without further ado, this is credit to Mr. and Mrs. E Crimecast, as well as Tony Mathis, the national spokesperson for Seth Rogers. He has always tried to come to the table. He tried to always include people, including the mom and stepdad, in one unified message to the world. And once again, they failed to do anything to really help aid in finding their son, including having a unified message and a unified front as parents fighting for their child. They stepped down. They turned it down. So without further ado, thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Crimecast, for doing this live with Tony. And let's go ahead and move forward with the video so you guys can hear why all of this stuff is going crazy.
So what I'd like to talk about, guys, and I appreciate you giving me the chance to come on and clear some of this up. First thing I can tell your audience is that you guys are here tonight with a group of people that verify, re-verify, as Mr. E said over and over again, try to gain information from a couple or three different sources before they put it out. And unfortunately, and I'm not going to get into mentioning creators by name, but unfortunately we're dealing with other creators that they really don't verify anything. And it's kind of a pattern with some of these creators. And, the latest thing that's out there from a couple creators is that there had been an email sent by Seth Rogers that he was trying to get Sebastian put in a home. I think it started out, September, October.
For those that are new and don't know what Tony's talking about, there was an email that was circulating that was leaked by the mom and stepfather through these felon content creators. And it was making a way and appearing and having the appearance that Seth wanted to send his son away, and it couldn't be further from the truth. So that was distraction one that blew up in their face, because what ended up happening from that leak document is the revelation of these 5 CPS reports in response to that leaking of those documents, because they tried to once again lie, which is the MO of this particular mom, stepfather, and their clan, is to lie, deceive, manipulate, connive. That is their MO. And so they had this clip of this email that looked very damaging to Seth. But once you peel back the onion and you learn, it was actually the Proudfoots that approached Seth to have their son sent to this Gallatin Bledsoe boys camp in Gallatin. And when Seth researched it, it was a hot mess express. And it was. We read some articles about it. Not a very good place to send your child. It's littered with a lot of complaints and has been for decades. So he said no, but since that's what they wanted to do, and he was unprepared at that time to bring Sebastian home with him, he wasn't registered for online schooling. He didn't have him registered in school, and therefore he couldn't get that stuff done because there's approval process for that, especially in the middle of the year. It took 14 months for that approval. But in the meantime, Seth had sent them 4 other group homes that he would be more comfortable sending his son to until the time he could get him in his home and into the proper school. And that's what that was about. It was initiated by the mom and stepdad, but that wasn't what the leak was all about. It was acting as if Seth wanted to do this and they knew better. But what they didn't anticipate is them dropping the bomb of these reports, at least the information that was able to be released from these reports. So just to give you guys a little background.
That kind of thing. Even the dates aren't correct. I heard another rumor that something to the effect of Seth was told that, they had given Seth a year to get his home in order. And because he couldn't get his home in order, they were going to do something different with Sebastian. That's kind of like it's kind of like a lot of the other things that have happened there locally. It's just not factual. I'll take you guys back. First off,
I will let you guys know we have met our goal. I'm pretty confident we've met our goal. We've gotten close enough to our goal. I'm going to turn on the phones after we're done with this show. So if you guys have some commentary on these new distraction efforts and misinformation and disinformation campaigns coming from the mom and stepfather's camp, if you guys would like to have your voice heard, please stay to the end of the show. We'll be opening up the phone lines.
We're familiar with some of these DCS reports that have been talked about over and over again. I think it's important for your audience to know that over the last 2 years, there's been 5 different DCS reports that were filed.
5. That was the bomb breaking news. There were 5 CPS reports instead of just 1 or 2, which is what many of us believed to be true. We believed that there was only 1 or 2. We were shocked to learn that there were these 5 CPS reports. And this was, coming up to days on where Sebastian's birthday was about to be or had just passed. I can't remember exactly the date of this. Let's look at the date. As a matter of fact, we can do that. The date of this was December 1st. So it was prior to this information was dropped prior to Sebastian's birthday. And so on Sebastian's birthday, many people noticed the silence from the mom and stepdad and went to the social media streets and started asking questions like, where are they? Why aren't they saying anything for birthday for Sebastian, instead of just saying happy birthday, Sebastian, we love, miss you, or providing a statement from the family, a prepared statement from the family, the abuser's mother goes to social media and starts saying that this is all untrue. None of this happened. This is just from a grifting father that just wants to make money off his son's disappearance. Never once saying he was a pedo, right? You would think that that would be rolling off of her tongue if for any reason there were truth to it. The issue is, if this really did happen at her ripe age of 12 years old, which is what is being implied, which we all know is...
Warning, bullshit alert.
Unless there was any type of records or any type of telling of a friend or any type of this, then there is absolutely no way to prove it, and they know it. There's no way to prove that they're telling the truth. There's no way to prove that they're not telling the truth. Okay? This is stuff that would not be accessible to anyone. Let's just be honest. Do I believe Seth did this? Absolutely not. Why? Because I've been around the man, right? I know that this man has been nothing but honest, even when it's been difficult to be honest. He was still honest. So all of a sudden, I'm supposed to take these liar people that have been caught in lie after lie after lie after lie that, okay, all of a sudden, 10 months later, here we go again. Because the distractions from their hired distractor, this unscrupulous PI, because of that, they have to go with another distraction because it's not working. It's not working. Let's keep going. So what did we learn? Well, we learned that somebody is talking about 3 a.m. car. 3 a.m. car, not a 5 a.m. car, a 3 a.m. car. This guy, this unscrupulous PI, says he knows exactly what and who was in that car. Moreover, when we break the news that he's withholding this critical and crucial information from law enforcement, his response is, I have no obligation to notify law enforcement. Are we here to withhold information, or do we all have the same common goal of finding Sebastian, not running interference? I would like to bring Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers home safely. Why would anybody be withholding any type of information from law enforcement when the common goal is to bring a young boy home? Does not make sense. And then if that's not enough, because those distractions didn't work, lo and behold, we have the mom of the abuser of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers trying to throw yet another distraction out there in the world, stating, congratulations on 40 plus years. This is a wonderful testament. Your marriage occurred between an 18-year-old woman and a 26-year-old man, not a 12-year-old girl and a 21-year-old man, as was the case with Seth and Katie. I'm quite sure you can see and it cut off. That is awfully weird that all of a sudden, now we've had the mom on many interviews, right? Many interviews. I think at least a dozen interviews or more. This mother and stepfather have been on there. And the only comments that they've made at the beginning before they were being side-eyed by that very father were that the father was a good father for Sebastian, very much in his life, and was the rooter of the sidelines when it came to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, very much in his life. Never had a negative thing to say about this man at the beginning. Even as things were getting a little intense, not much to say about the father as far as anything. You know what they did? They leaked information to these felon content creators to blow stuff out of the water that did not exist. Much like this. We have a massive disinformation and misinformation campaign going on that has been going on for months. It didn't work with the content creators. Sounds like they fired the content creators because they weren't doing enough to impact the case. They hired this unscrupulous PI to run interference. He's not doing a whole lot to change people's minds in this case. So now it's back to Seth being a pedo, right? But mom can't say it. Doesn't, out of all the opportunities that lady has had an opportunity to come up and say something. How about Duchess? How about the web sleuths when he had an opportunity right then and there with Seth on there when they were fighting about his mother, the same woman that's trying to run this interference and distraction now to all of her friends in the community, trying to point the finger at a father that had nothing to do with his child's disappearance. Why? That needs to be our question. Why are they doing this? Why? It sounds to me like there's more to this story than meets the eye, wouldn't you say? Because they were the first ones to say, what does that have to do with finding my son? What does that have to do with this? What does that have to do with that? What does that have to do? We need to find Sebastian. None of these questions have anything to do with it. Well, what do these questions have anything to do with it now? Putting him in diapers and telling him he defecates and likes to defecate all over himself is more important. Did that help find him? But why are they attacking the father? The most innocent person in all of this? Is it because they are trying to blame him for looking bad? They only have themselves to blame for that. All of them. And all of their lies. Let's go back to Miss Bobby. When it comes to the lights on the outside of the house that everybody's trying to distract us from, right? So now we have Seth Sapido, and by the way, this is not the only car out there. Everybody's mistaken the video. Well, this lady here seems pretty confident nobody's mistaken in crack.
Out, but there's no proof of him physically walking out. And then it was, okay, are there any cars around there? And so going back to the whole light thing, I was told that there was an unidentified car sitting on my street facing the entrance somewhere around 3:30 or so. And then the flashlights were actually seen on the neighbor's camera, 2 separate flashlights walking in between the yards, which the trash truck does not do. They don't need to. All of the trash is at the curb. They have never, ever gone. Matter of fact, when you sign up for services, they tell you in the email their rules and regulations. If your trash is not by the curb, they don't take it. Unless, you're an elderly person, you ask them. If your trash is like in the front of your house and you ask them, they'll come and get it like that, but they won't come around the back or in between houses. That's bull monarchy. That is not how that works.
No trash. You don't believe that those 3:10 a.m. lights were around 3:10 after 3 a.m. were trash truck lights.
Not only do I not believe it, but the neighbor that has the actual footage swore up and down that there are 2 different circumstances. There was the car with the lights coming towards the car backed up on Kellen and left. And then about 2-ish hours, hour and a half, hour and 42 something, they're like she said, the time stamp on the video is not working. It is stuck. She said, but you can tell because it's pitch black dark in the middle of the night when the car comes down the street, turns onto Stafford, sits there for about 3 to 5 minutes. The flashlights are coming from 2 different directions in between the yards. They do whatever they're doing around the car. The car backs up Kellen and leaves from Stafford. Backs up Kellen and leaves. And then 2 or so hours later, as the sun is just beginning to come up, you can see the trash truck.
Okay. So liar, liar, pants on fire. He was caught lying. He was caught distracting the truth. He was caught manipulating the truth. And these are the reality of what we're dealing with when it comes to him. Now we're supposed to believe, for whatever reason, that this Yahoo now has camera footage of this camera, which was not on the house at the time. This is a brand new camera. Now we have all of these lights. This was not lit up like this before. This is not even in the angle of where they're going. And they're showing you a trash truck coming in with the light. You can see behind here. Let me see if I can blow this up for you. You guys can see behind here. You can see the sky and the clouds. This is entirely too much daylight for the time in which we're talking about. Look at all these lights. And he's trying to get up here and put it. Look how farther down his angle is on his camera. This is not even the right angle. You got to take into consideration the lens on this camera here and the lens on this camera here, which we took into consideration when we shot our footage. And clearly the lights that we saw do not look like this. So he's been caught not being truthful when it comes to these things. And he also wants... Okay, let's listen to this. It says the borders of the video have been cropped and the footage has been stabilized, which masks the fact that it's secondhand recording. This is a secondhand recording. We've known that. And look at the video that they put out here. This is the same video we've had. And you can see where it's cut off and cropped on the screen. We've had this. You still see the freaking car. You still see the car. Look at that. That looks like a full-size SUV right here. This is a back hatch and brake lights right here. Brake lights and front lights. So he's trying to manipulate people's minds in thinking that we have no earthly idea what we're talking about when we've analyzed this footage. And yes, we've had the raw footage. He's not the first one that's acquired the raw footage. As a matter of fact, he probably acquired the raw footage from one of us, quite frankly. And he's trying to tell us what we need to see. The bottom line is we have people with cameras that watch lights go to a car, the only car that was present that night. And what is he trying to say? He's trying to say, oh my gosh, we know both of the cars. We know both of them. As if there are two different vehicles seen in the area that night. And there were not. And then we learn that this guy is the one harassing Nick the Hat and his parole. Look at this. And of course, he's lying about it. This man is using his license. He needs to lose his license, period. He's exploiting what his license is utilized for. He's investigating people he's not authorized to investigate. He's sticking his nose and trying to have people thrown in jail because he wants them out of the case. And he thinks he has that power to do it. This man is dangerous. We've been saying it for years, and all these yahoos want to run to him because they think he has information. He doesn't. He steals all of our research and pats it as his. Fisher went to extreme lengths to have me essentially gagged, only to taunt me, exploit his twisted sense of control. He claims to have had a long talk with my parole officer, claiming he's learned a lot about me. This man, he is not using his license the way it was intended, to uphold standards, to serve. No, he's twisted it into something else entirely. He has made it a weapon, a blade he swings to dominate, to control, to scare. He's exploiting every ounce of authority that piece of paper gives him, not for justice, not for integrity, but to manipulate, to get what he wants when he wants it. Not only are the intimidating tactics unethical, they're downright dangerous. You know who else used his position to suppress dissenting voices and punish those who spoke out against him or his views? Hitler. We come with factual information. We have receipts. This man has no receipts. He's got pictures and his words. And his words are manipulating the pictures he's got, which have no relevance or anything other than distracting features when presented to the audience to drive a narrative that only helps and assists his clients. Alleged clients. I don't even know if there's a contract there. His MO is not to have a contract. And if he doesn't have a contract, he does not work for people because that authorizes him to work and it authorizes him to do certain activities and what activities he's allowed to do under their authorization. He has none of that. He has none of that. And we reached our goal. We're at the end of our live. I've got so much more I could present, but I'm not going to continue to go down this road with these idiots. The mother of the abuser of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is lying. She's been lying. She couldn't even tell the young boy happy birthday. She'd rather spend a whole entire day arguing why she couldn't say those words than actually just saying those words. Much like she sits there and lies about these 5 Department of Children and Family Services. She knows what kind of son she has raised. Let's look at him. Let's look at his history. This man has been in trouble his entire life, so much so he was required to go into the military or go to jail. Required. His mother knew that, right? Mommy Dearest knew that he was in trouble and he either had to go into the military or go to jail. They opted to go in the military. Why? Because he's too much of a coward to be in jail, okay? He wouldn't survive in jail, which is where ultimately he's going to be landing years later, right? In my opinion, in my humble opinion, that man will be in jail. Is it a surprise that this man has abused women after Nina? They try to tell us that Nina was lying, right? Before we had information that proved that she was not lying, they were telling us Nina was lying. And now we find out not only was her children abused, but so was Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. His father, Seth Rogers, has even come publicly and said, why didn't Katie get a restraining order against him? We don't know. We have no earthly idea. But Seth has every right to ask those questions. And if anybody wants to see those are on Court TV, by the way, in public information. All right, guys, I am now moving over. Let me clear my my channel just a little bit so we can make sure that everything is set up the way it should be set up. Don't call in just yet until I bring this to the stage because I don't want to dox anybody and I need to get rid of this. Oh, and one other thing before I do, I did want to remind everybody that the vehicle on the outside of the home is right here and it's what you guys saw in that video. Obviously, the information we have is true, accurate, and correct, right? Because this is the same back end of a vehicle that he presented on his page. But somehow, when it was presented on my page months ago, it was a lie. Remember that? It was a lie. It was, what did they say it was? They said it was photoshopped. But now it winds up on his film. And look, the image never changed. And my overlay still is the same. In my opinion, this is the vehicle we are looking for right here. Right here. Just my opinion. I could be wrong. I could very, 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 very well be wrong. But that is my opinion of what I think could be there. Is it another car? It very well could be. This is not a very scientific endeavor that I did. So it was just a simple overlay. It looked like it matched. Could it match? Could it be something else? Could it be another car? Absolutely, absolutely could be. I'd be the first one to admit it. That's just my opinion based on the information that I have and what I believe to be. Now, could it be a car? I think it's an SUV, personally speaking. I think it's an SUV. All right, so we're getting the phones on, and the phones are officially on. We have the phones on. The first person that does end up calling in, please give me some time to check make sure everybody can hear you. The number is 724-252-8070. That's We got our first caller. Give me just a second. Hello. Can everybody in the chat hear the person?
Hi, Bullhorn Betty.
Hey.
I have a question. What is CPS in Tennessee doing? 5 reports of child abuse or child neglect, and they had not removed Sebastian from that home?
Well, there's like we listened to Julie. Gosh, I keep forgetting her name. But Julie. She's been covering this case and covering the law associated with this, and it's her opinion that the stepfather was required not to be at the home. So it sounds like they were doing something. They just did not remove the child from the home. Now, were there plans to remove that child from their home? I have no earthly idea. We don't have the reports, but I agree with you. 5 is a lot. Skolnick. That's it.
It is.
Skolnick.
My adopted mom works for child protection up here in Colorado. After the 3rd report, they're taking the kid.
Right.
Until the thorough investigation is done, whether the other person leaves out of the home, the abuser leaves out of the home or not.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's the way I had always heard it, because I spoke to people, especially Child Protective Services here in Florida, and they say we do not threaten parents to leave the home. We either have enough to pull the child out of the home or we don't. That's the way I was told. But, some people, I guess other states handle their Department of Children and Families differently. And so I've got to rely on the people in the state of Tennessee that have more experience with Tennessee's Department of Children and Family Services than I do.
And then another thing, that investigator, does he not know that withholding information would cost him his license and jail time? I pinned it in your comments.
Did you? Well, if you know the law or you have that statute, please email it to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I'd like to relay that over to Sumner County or the DA's office.
I have already sent it over to him.
Okay, perfect.
I beat you to it. Because I'm like, you cannot withhold information in a criminal investigation or a missing child investigation.
But why would, if he was hired to find him, why would he be withholding this information? It doesn't make sense. It tells me that it's a lie, because you can't lie to law enforcement. That's a chargeable offense. So if he goes to and turns this stuff over to law enforcement, and he's willingly and knowingly lying and peddling misinformation, he could be charged with that, in my opinion.
Right. And Lord, I hate to say this, but I still think, Betty, that he did not make it home from Texas Roadhouse. I think that green hoodie lady, whatever you want to call her, is part of this plan, because it looks like KP's mom. I did a side-by-side comparison. I even asked my instructor for my criminal justice class, who does this look like? Do they look alike to you? And he said, yes, that's a definitely match.
Right.
So to do a phone interview and to clear somebody is just beyond words. I can't even understand that.
I agree 100%. This this doesn't sound, very good. And I understand why people believe he never made it home from the Texas Roadhouse. I believe he did, but that's just the differing of opinions. A lot of people are looking at the fact that he was never seen on a camera since returning home. And so I do understand. And I know a lot of my audience also mimic your sentiments, where they don't believe he made it home as well.
I'm just not, I'm not seeing it. And I think that flashlight video, it was either mom or stepdad running them shoes and Sebastian's stuff back to the house.
Gotcha.
Because they forgot to set up the house to make it look like he
okay,
walked
so
out
now you have an
door.
alternate theory why the car was there at that time of night. Okay, that could work. That could work. Well, I do appreciate about these distractions. Why do you think all of a sudden they're trying to hit with these heavy hitting distractions all of a sudden, almost 10 months later?
Because they know where he is. They know where Sebastian is, and what mom don't understand, and I'm talking about Sebastian's mom, the longer she withholds this, the longer she keeps playing this game with her husband and his family, the more time she's going to get. She needs to be interrogated by herself, questioned, treat her like she was back in the military, and do a drill sergeant on her. She will break.
I agree. Well, thank you so much for calling in. I do appreciate it. Do you have any other comments to state before I disconnect?
I just hope they get Sebastian home to Seth.
Me too.
Before Christmas.
Me too.
If Seth is listening, our prayers go out to you. And we hope you find your son. And when you do, please let us all know so we can get some rest too.
Amen. Thank you so much for your call. I hope you call back again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. I turned off the phones just for a second because I forgot to get through because I know I missed some, and I wanted to get through all the people that have supported this call-in show today. SPE teacher, we will find Sebastian Rogers. Thank you, BHB, for all you do. Also, all the support that is supporting Sebastian. Let's pray and hope that we, and I'm assuming, bring him home. Betty, you're amazing. Thank you, Melanie. We got Sandy, love you, or love my BHB. Michelle gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. YouTuber CB's latest post, not today, Satan, amen. And we are going over it as we speak. Holly S., thank you. God bless you. Our beautiful Gypsy is up in the house saying good morning to everyone. Thank you, Gypsy. If somebody will drop Gypsy's link, I'd really appreciate that. Garfield says, good morning, BHB. Good morning to you as well, Garfield. It's nice to see you in chat. Elizabeth says, thank you, mods. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. We got some cuss jar money. Thank you. God bless you for that. Veronica B. True Crime says, putting out the flame from the bullshit. And then F'ers, liars. Oops, that's 3. I love it. Thank you, Veronica. Yada is up in the house. Katie knew Seth as a young teen. He lived with her dad's home in Virginia Beach. She babysat for his ex. Thank you for that information. Misty Moon, super sticker. We have Nanette. Thank you for that. Sandy, Sebastian's Army, Sebastian Strong. Amen to that. And Angelina says, thank you for being one of the few creators that actually reads and responds to emails. Much love. Aw, thank you. Yes, I do respond to emails. Sometimes I can't respond with words, but I give you a thumbs up, a heart. I try to do that. Every now and again, I catch myself deleting an email after I read it and forgetting to thumb it up. But for the most part, I get it. SF is full of horse. Beep, beep, beep. And Jenna says, love to all, BHB. Thank you so much. God bless you. Misty says, when a mother of a missing child can report their child's last words ever said to her before her son went missing without crying or losing her ish, she is guilty. Innocent mothers would be overcome with uncontrollable emotion, in my opinion. And I do believe that. Gypsy says, thanks for getting the truth out there. Amen to that. Want to be sleuthing something. I love how they release it to make Seth look bad, and it ended up making them look worse. What is wrong with them? Because I don't think they expected Tony to drop, the non-confidential information out there. Because to be honest with you, he did not release any confidential information. And I think they were kind of shocked how they got this information out there. I already confirmed Green Hoodie is absolutely not KP's mom. Thank you, Yada. And I have to concur. I also one that does not believe that Green Hoodie individual is the mother. As a matter of fact, I don't think it has anything to do with this case and why I'm not really covering it and moved to cover something a little more in detail, something we know it to be true, and it's whether or not how many cars were on the outside of their house, 1, and 2, why were individuals walking to a car that appeared to be trying to hide the car from any cameras in the community. Seems a little difficult to explain, but that's what it looked like to me, is somebody intentionally trying to hide their vehicle off any type of cameras, which causes me heartburn. Phones are back open, y'all. 724-252-8070. Don't forget to tell those that were just up on my screen, thank you. They're the ones that allowed this call live to come in. This is Betty. Who is this and where are you calling from?
Hi, Betty. This is Caroline Miller.
Oh, Caroline, it's nice to hear from you. How are you doing, my love?
I'm doing great, hon. How are you doing?
I'd be doing better if we had Sebastian home with his daddy, but that's not today. Hopefully later today, but hopefully before Christmas. But that's
For
where
sure.
I'm at.
Good news. So last night I was reviewing the inside of the Texas Roadhouse video.
Yeah.
And I went from the starting point of Green Hoodie entering back into the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
He turns and goes towards the back. As soon as she goes in that very far back entrance, I'm assuming that's maybe the restroom area.
Uh-huh.
There's a figure in black up against that wall, and it leads out the back aisle of the restaurant. I believe that it is CP, and that he was on the property that night. And the both of them on the videotape appeared almost like a ghost image. People were reviewing the film saying, GH, when she's walking through the aisle, like her jacket looked like it was disappearing. Kind of the same with the other figure. So I think these films need to be reviewed more in its entirety. There's a crowd load of people in that restaurant. That's witnesses.
Yep.
Secondly, Craddock cannot ignore the visual on that. Why are they hiding the fact that CP was in that restaurant?
Yeah, well, maybe they see a figure, but if you can't make the figure out, it could be circumstantial evidence later. But unless they can clearly see his face and see him in that restaurant, they can't state that he was there.
I think it's worth reviewing.
Very good.
Really seriously. And another point I wanted to make is I tried contacting Dog about a week and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
He's yet to return my call. I was in the middle of writing him a DM on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I spent about a half an hour on it. And as soon as I went to send it, my whole system got blocked out of Twitter. He didn't receive the message. So I did a follow-up message. I sent my phone number. I said, Dog, just please call me.
Mm-hmm.
So after the Oregon sighting, which came out extraordinarily late
Mm-hmm.
in the investigation, there was a sighting in Washington State. So I'm still trying to follow up with this, and I really want Dog to reach out to me on it, because if they have remained in Washington State, then we're on to something.
Yeah, and I also received an email from somebody that stated that they thought they saw him in Washington State as well, and it broke right after the Crime Time Buzz affidavit from law enforcement, like the incident report that she was able to get from Oregon.
Right.
Somebody had reached out to me and said that they had seen them in the state of Washington. And so I had them call that into Dog's tip line. And I do believe, I mean, it seems awfully funny that we have several people talking about Oregon and of course, Washington, and you're not the first person that has told me about Washington as well. So there might be something there.
And I'll mention two things about Washington. Right now, the specific area is literally flooded with, FBI agents and people that aren't normally in this community. Secondly, we have a Navy base here called Whidbey Nass, and I'm assuming both Chris and Katie are possibly associated with Whidbey Nass at some point in time in their career. So that would be a great explanation as to why maybe friends or people or places they've been before, that they would concentrate on an area like this. If they've had previous associations with this island, then they.
Well, I
might
did not
have a good
know
place to
about
hide
the
a
Navy.
child out.
I didn't know about the Navy base being there, but knowing that the Navy
Yeah, it's
base
on the north end of the island,
in
and
the
I'm in
area
the
that they,
central south part of the island.
well, where
And I
is that?
actually had a sighting.
Hold on. Is that near Ford's Pond?
No, Whidbey Island is in Oak Harbor, Washington. It's on Whidbey Island.
And how far away would
Whidbey,
that be from Ford's Pond?
is that in Washington?
No, it's in Oregon.
No, okay, so probably a couple 100 miles.
Okay. So several hours. Okay.
Yeah, but it would be on the same coast. So if they were on the coast of Oregon, they would have probably came up 101, which is the main coastal drive. It's a little bit harder than like going on I-5.
Yeah.
But the island, they would have had to take a ferry boat. And the other thing was there was a sighting in September. A couple was rolling what appeared to be a 15-year-old boy. They were wheeling him. It didn't look like a wheelchair, but some sort of item that he was being wheeled in as if he couldn't walk. His hair was a little bit longer. His hair was a little bit browner, and he was not wearing eyeglasses. Now, I've lived on this island 45 years plus. When people walk down the street and say hi to each other, passerbys, people acknowledge them. I specifically made a point to say hi, and not a one of them waved, spoke back, nothing. They just chalantly were walking down the road, and I'm thinking, why are they walking down the road, no car, with a kid in a wheelchair, and not acknowledging a person back? So I was thinking, well, maybe they came in on transit.
Yeah.
We have free bus transit from one end of the island to another, and we have cameras on our transit, and they were walking to somewhat of a remote area, you know, because they're on foot.
Right.
Like with this kid. So what, did they get off at the bus stop, come down the road,
Where did
went
you
further
hear this?
down the
Where
road?
did you hear this about the wheelchair and stuff like that? Was it on somebody's?
Betty, I saw it, and this is why I tried contacting Dog. I saw it. I was in the middle of a big move this summer. I relocated from one end of the island to the other. And when I moved to this area, and I've been working this case since day one, I thought to myself, oh my God, you know, that does look like Sebastian. But I wasn't settled in here yet, and I didn't want to call Sumner County because I don't have any confidence in the Sumner County police, just because of the way this whole case has been the whole time. And when Dog came off, I put the confidence in myself to, you know, try to contact him and at least have it checked out.
Yeah.
So if we have a kid in a wheelchair here, we could go through medical records, which are local. Did this child live here? Is this child disabled? Do we have a newbie here? You know, we also have special schools here for kids with autism.
Gotcha.
You know, and that's the other thing that is driving me to, you know, point this issue out at this particular point in time.
Gotcha.
And I can identify the two people, adults. One was a man, one was a woman. The woman was shorter than the man. She had dark, shorter hair, well, like shoulder length. And, you know, just the fact that they didn't respond, it was highly suspicious to me. Like I said, people are friendly on this island. You know, anybody even driving by on a bike would wave hi or say hi.
Gotcha.
You know, yeah. So that's where I'm at with that. I want to get you updated, but I think it's critical we review that film inside the Texas Roadhouse, because CP is the biggest sneak I think I've ever seen when it comes to a missing child case.
I agree.
Something's going on here. We got to nail this down.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have this uneasy feeling, you know, in their pit of their stomach about the mom and the stepfather, predominantly the stepfather, because he's been the one that's been trying to push Sebastian out of the house. He's the one that wants Seth to take it. He wants nothing to do with Sebastian. He's the one that seems to be the hardest on him, the most abusive toward him, the most verbally abusive toward him. It seems
Totally.
like,
Totally. Highly dysfunctional to the well-being of Sebastian.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Agree 100%.
Yeah.
All
Any
right,
final
so that's
words
all
that
I
you'd
have
like
for today.
to say before I move on to the next caller?
No, that's all I have to say for now, and I appreciate the audience and to not following these distractions that are, being put out by the Proudfoot family, because I really think they're working hard to try to get people on their side, to believe in their lies, misconceptions, and everything else. And we're pretty much seeing straight through the line on this one.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get this cleared up soon.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye. This is Betty. Who's this and where are you calling from? Okay, well, we just lost him. Chris realized he screwed himself with CPS thinking Seth wasn't in Sebastian's life. How was he supposed to go live with him, in my opinion? I don't know. I feel like the CPS reports are very damaging. Very, very damaging. This is Betty. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, Betty? It's Drew.
Hey, Drew. How are you, my love?
I'm all right. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing well. So what do you think about all these distractions?
Okay. Well, I'm calling in because I looked up, how we were talking about the flashlights, right? How I thought they were solar lights that they were using, because Katie did say they had solar lights out in the yard, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I looked it up. A keychain flashlight, it illuminates 30 to 100 feet, which is 10 to 30 centimeters, right?
Mm-hmm.
The flashlight, the little keychain.
Yeah.
Now the solar lights, they the radius and they illuminate only 6 to 8 feet.
So you think it might be those little pin flashlights?
No, I'm thinking it's solar.
Oh, so you still
that they
are
were
thinking
using.
after finding out that you're thinking it's still the solar lights?
Yes, yeah. I'm still thinking it's the solar lights, because a flashlight is going to illuminate, like it says, 30 to 100 feet. And that's just a little keychain,
Right.
So imagine if they had a big ass flashlight, it would illuminate even farther.
Gotcha.
Now, that's my opinion on that. Now, I have a question. Did they ever notice any vultures around there or along the path that maybe Katie took or Chris took along,
I don't know, but I will tell you, I see where you're going with that. And when I was out looking for Brian Laundrie out in the swamp and out in the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park, I was looking for bird activity too and didn't see not a darn bit of it. Nothing swooping above. And that was the second time that I had experienced that, where we've had a body right there. The other one was that gal over in Pasco County that had the white boyfriend. I can't remember his name, Colin Knapp. It was the assailant. I can't remember the girl's name. But she was right in his back, like over the fence in his backyard, like near this. It was this open area that nobody went to because there was swamp areas and like water moccasins and stuff like that in the pond. So nobody would go back there. And even though she was laying back there in a like a mattress pad, rolled up in a mattress pad. No bird activity whatsoever. Those were the two experiences I had. We're always told, look for the bird activity. There were none in either.
Exactly. Because out here, I don't know if you saw the case with the Summer, what's her name? Summer, something that happened in Almost Park about the husband that murdered the wife. And we were also looking for bird activity when they were looking for her at the landfill. And there was, but nothing was found of her,
Yeah.
in that situation. But that's a thing, we got to look out for bird activity, especially when things
and other
happen.
insects. Now we heard them. We could hear the wings of a bunch of bugs, but we couldn't find where that sound was coming from.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
so there are other telltale signs. We just couldn't find them.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see the birds, but we could hear the bugs.
Okay, you know why? Sometimes also, if you can't hear the birds, because sometimes when they get rid of a body, they pour something over the body. What is that thing that they pour over the body to conceal the scent or to break down the body even faster? They use
I know
something and
they
they pour
used
over.
lime. Lime was a big thing in the past.
Okay, yeah, lime.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Could that cover the stench and birds will not be attracted to it?
Somebody's saying
Maybe?
lie or lime. To be honest with you, I don't know. I've never, I've heard
Okay.
they've used it to help break down the body quicker, but I've never watched the decomp that came from it and how quickly it worked.
Oh, okay. Now I have another thing. I'm jumping from thing to thing. Do you think they ever had a baby monitor in Sebastian's room? Because a baby monitor is more private. You know, it's not connected to anything. Nobody could see nothing really unless you hack into a baby monitor, which that has happened
Honestly,
before in the past.
I don't believe so, because it doesn't seem like these parents really cared about him. You know, they didn't seem like they spent a lot of money on him. Didn't seem like they did a whole lot with him. You know, he was always in trouble. I don't know if they would have wanted to be woke up in the middle of the night. It seems like it's possible. Anything's possible, but the probability.
Yeah, with the camera. You know, a little baby monitor with a camera to keep an eye on him or something like that. I don't know.
We heard that there were cameras in the kitchen. I don't know if that's true. We heard it through the grapevine. It was rumored. Maybe that's what they're referring to. Maybe it was a baby camera and like a nanny cam or something like that in the house. It's off the circuit, possibly, but I have no definitive answer one way or the other. Everything that we've heard from the mom and stepdad is there were no cameras.
Okay, so I got a question. So Seth was in that house before, so I don't know if you ever asked him that, but did he ever notice a camera in the kitchen or anywhere?
I did, and
inside?
I don't think because from my understanding, up until Sebastian disappeared, he hadn't been inside that home very many times. I think maybe a handful of times over the 2 years they've lived there has he actually been inside the home. He usually goes there and picks his son up and leaves. From my understanding, he never really went inside the home very often. They went inside the home. It sounds like they sat at the kitchen table to discuss the schooling, online schooling. That sounds like one of the incidences that Chris had brought up. And the other one that was brought up was Seth when his son was missing and he was staying there. Those are the only 2 times that I know that Seth definitively was inside the home.
Okay. Yeah, that was my questions. Well, you know, that's why I had called in.
Yeah, well. What do you think? Do you think that there's a reason for these distractions? I mean, we've been hit with these lies and these distractions for 2 straight weeks. Do you think there's a reason for them?
Yes. Things are getting hot, and the truth comes out. What's done in darkness will come out, no matter what. You know, they could try to distract all they want. I don't know who's involved. There must be a lot of people involved. If they're using jammers and everything else, and doing all sorts of things, yeah, it's a distraction. The lights have something to do with it. Those lights going up the yard are not from the trash man. Come on, we're not stupid. As far as the car, is one car that picked up probably Sebastian that night. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you believe there was one car or 2 cars that evening?
One car.
Me too.
One car.
Yeah, me too.
There's not going to be 2 cars. It's going to be too obvious.
Yeah,
you know,
and
people are nosy.
That's what the PI is saying. He says he knows who was in both cars, and I think he's just throwing that tidbit of information out there for people to try to pick up a second car when there was no second car. He's giving people red herrings and wild goose chases.
Wow. Okay, remember that lady, the one that showed up to Chris's house with the son and the girlfriend?
Yeah.
You remember that lady with the glasses? Okay. Remember when they said those people walking around with night vision goggles? Whatever happened with that?
I think that was chlamydia. I think that was her and her husband, because there is a statement on her page that talks about her walking around the neighborhood with night vision goggles. And
What the
it was
hell?
right around the same time that was going on. And she was circling that neighborhood every day, watching their home.
That's scary. That's scary.
So I
stuff
really
right there.
think that what Miss Bobby saw that night was actually chlamydia and her fiance.
I don't know who that is, chlamydia, but that's some scary stuff.
That's our name for her. Somebody in the chat can probably clue you in.
Okay,
Clue,
yeah, when I go
clue.
back down in a minute, y'all let me know.
All right, Drew,
But,
you take care.
All right, thank you for letting me on here, and hello, ladies out there.
Yeah,
And,
it's always
well, yeah.
nice. It's always nice. Thanks, Drew. Call back again.
All right, God bless y'all. Bye.
Bye-bye. So, you guys like that? Yeah. The clue is clue. No. But yeah, I went through all of this stuff, and I do believe, I know there's been a mystery around that, but if you go and read some of the statements, it sounds like it was her. Because if you even listen to the description that Miss Bobby says of this big person, okay, chlamydia is she's a bigot, okay? Not that we have a problem with Fluffy unless we don't like you, right? We love fluffy people. We love fluffy people. We love our teddy bears and our sugar bears up in here, right? Unless we don't like you, and then that becomes a problem. I won't lie. I think it was wrong for KPCP to have you arrested. Tell me the police aren't corrupt. Well, they lied under oath, and then they had a detective lie under oath. But that's for another day. I'm trying to let law enforcement do what they need to do so we can get this wrapped up. This is Betty.
Hey, Betty. This is Niecy Marie.
Oh, see, I'm glad you called in. I'm like, is it Niecy? Is it Nicey? So it's
Nicey Marie or Niecy Marie.
There you go. I love it, Niecy Marie. It's nice to see you, or hear from you, rather. So, what do you think is going on in all of this?
Well, it's a cover-up with the flashlights. Remember what I sent to you on subject 1?
Yep.
There's more to it. And the flashlights are up closer than anybody thinks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still working on them, but the rest is gonna go to Dog the Bounty Hunter once I get it all done.
Good.
I'm telling you, it's hiding evidence. My allegedly opinion.
Okay.
Okay, and when I get done, I got 56 screenshots of the video. When you do the photos, you get more of the light coming too than in the dark trying to do the video.
Gotcha.
So I'm just letting you know there's more involved, more faces. And when you play that video, you got to pay attention to the left corner or the left bottom corner.
Okay.
Towards the end of the video, more lights come up. And there's 2 flashlights down there. And the top right corner, you got to watch the corner too. There's more than just them lights there.
Good. I'm glad somebody's paying attention, and so I'll definitely look at that. What do you think? For the last 2 weeks, we've had this huge push for disinformation and misinformation from the mom and stepfather's camp. What do you think that's all about?
Distraction.
But why?
They're trying to hide what was on the flashlight video.
Well, they've been trying to hide that since March 14th, but why all of a sudden the sudden push of this disinformation from Mommy Dearest and their hired hitman?
My opinion, I sprayed the they know what the faces behind the flashlights are, who they are.
Gotcha.
My allegedly opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still working on them. But a certain team told me to hold off for a little bit. You probably know who.
Yep.
Because of the investigation. And if it comes to that and they give me the go, I will release them.
Very good. Very good. And what do you believe that Sebastian 1 was abused, that there truly are 5 separate CPS reports? And
I believe it.
Okay.
There's too much going on, and I can say somebody was pushing something to get to a certain item to take down in that video. But in the same token, it's not a trash truck. And I can tell you guys, the flashlights are close up than you guys think where the camera's at.
Gotcha. Interesting.
It's closer up.
Gotcha. Do you think that those lights originated from the Proudfoot home?
I have a feeling it's somewhere behind the house, my opinion.
That's what my opinion's been as well. That's why I was looking at their gate or their fence so closely.
On the screenshots I found, there's a lot of, you have siding, or like a garage door. You know how you have white?
Yeah.
And when you do the things, there's a certain blue light you won't see in the flashlight video. There's a certain face behind it. Not going to mention who.
Gotcha.
And this is what I'm working on. I learned this from, if I could do this, FBI, TBI can do this.
Yes.
It's just a simple process, like, you know, how back in the 80s we done developing film back in the day. It's about the same thing on a phone.
Gotcha.
You have the tools of your phone.
Well, I'm definitely interested once you get it all said and done, even if I have to keep it confidential. I'm happy to do that. I definitely, it definitely would like to enlighten myself. So if you ever do get it done and you need it to be confidential, I give you my word of confidentiality. It won't be released until I'm to do so.
Because it will put more fuel to the fire. You got my drift.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about Sebastian.
Yeah.
And
I think we all are.
There's more people involved than you think.
I knew there had to be a lot. But I feel like it's all family, though. I feel like they're all tied together. I don't feel like they would be willing to do all of this with strangers or third parties outside of their family, their circle.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, when you guys play that video of the flashlight, pay attention to right-hand corner, what it does on the top.
Okay.
And then when it gets towards down to the bottom, like almost towards the end, watch your left, right, bottom corner.
Awesome. I'll definitely go back and look at the video. And then I'll do a presentation once I have an opportunity to review it again.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Thank you all for working for Sebastian.
You too. It sounds like you're putting in a lot of work as well. So we thank you as well.
It takes time. I started in April.
Yeah.
And that's how long the process. There's 56 screenshots.
Gotcha.
From that one video.
Gotcha.
So.
Well, anything that you can do to help this case, we appreciate it. God bless you.
Yes, I want Sebastian home with Seth.
Me too. Me too. Have a great day, hon.
Deserve this. Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye. Before I turn the screen back on, River is a member, a valued member of this channel. Many of the people that are here regularly know River, and no, River is not a troll. So whoever is saying she's a troll, please stop. She's a valued member of this channel and has been with us since we started enrolling this case. So please be cognizant. We have a lot of regulars in our chat and our channel that have been supporters of Seth, Sebastian, as well as myself and Tony. and we value our members here. So if you're new to the channel, just be careful. We have a lot of regulars that come to this show every single day. By the way, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. I think this has been a very good, enlightening show. The phones are back on. We have time to take about 2 or 3 more telephone calls. If you guys would like to have your voice heard, please give us a call. This is Betty. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Robin, Florida.
Oh, hey, Robin. Nice to hear your voice. So what do you think is going on here?
Premeditated. That's what I think.
So you think it's a premeditated act?
Yep.
And what leads you to those revelations?
Well, first of all, so Katie was home alone with Sebastian. I don't believe that. I believe Chris was there too. And the flashlight video, I was listening to that lady talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
And when you slow it down, like somebody slowed it down, and Chris was like, he's dead. What did you do? Oh my God. I mean, you can hear it as plain as day. If you got to read it, listen to it. But I read that flashlight video, and that's what was going on.
Gotcha. What do you think the reason for all of these, like we've had 2 weeks of major distractions from the PI as well as the mother of the abuser of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Why do you think they're having this huge push these last 2 weeks for these distractions and what I perceive as damage control? Is there a reason for it that you can think of?
Cover up.
What is it?
Cover up.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems awfully funny that the mother, i.e. the step grandmother of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, hasn't been vocal for a really long time, and then boom, in the last 2 weeks she's been awfully chatty. She's been a chatty Cathy.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I've been talking to a few people, and they've been doing their investigation, and this one girl I talked to on Facebook, she's all into this, and she's actually been talking to an autistic boy in a home, in a school. It's going to happen. This is not going to happen like we want it to, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Arrests are coming. I actually texted the TBI today, and because they're doing a sweep,
mm-hmm.
and I asked them, is the Proudfoots and the Bowersox going to be arrested? And I sent them a picture of Sebastian Rogers. And they told me to hit the tip line. I said, I'm not hitting the tip line. You have it all in your database.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So, hey, but at least you're getting a response from TBI. They're not just ignoring you. A lot of people there for a while was sending them information and wouldn't even get a response. It was very irritating for a lot of people from what I heard.
Yeah, they did that to me with Summer's case. They totally blocked me.
Gotcha. Any final words before I move on to the next caller?
I really appreciate you. I have a friend in Michigan that keeps bothering me when you come on. She's like, Bullhorn Betty live, go watch it.
Oh,
I'm like, oh my God.
Is it Stephers?
And I needed you. I fight a case in Michigan.
Yeah.
My daughter was murdered in '94.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I really needed you in Michigan with me to rally, but now he's appealing his second life term in prison.
Wow. I don't know how you parents deal with this stuff. I don't, some of the people don't realize how strong, even the parents don't realize how extremely strong they are walking through something like that.
I mean, it's been 30 years and you just don't get over it, It's just something that, I mean, she was my last child and she was my only daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And she was only 5, and I don't understand.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. So you think this is all a cover up? You think this was premeditated, and you feel that justice is coming? Did I get all the sentiments right?
Yes, I believe justice will come soon. I mean, if everybody stays on TBI's butt, like how Julie, I can't say her last name, but
Skolnick.
Like how
Skolnick.
She got a letter back, or she sent an email to, proper authorities, and she got an email back and it said received.
Yeah.
Not received.
Hey, but it's a response. Usually they don't even write that. So she should be fortunate that she got that from them, because I'm telling you, you don't get squat from these alphabet soups.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Eric Craddock, he needs to step down. He's a rookie cop. You can't, I tell you, Grady, he don't play that at all. Grady, you would have already been put in a holding cell.
Well, it's the difference between Florida law and Tennessee law, and that's why I tell people in Tennessee, it's very important that you vote. It's very important that you vote on initiatives and legislation when they're putting stuff before people. There's a lot that the Congress can do without voting on it from the people, but when there's things for criminal justice to be voted on in that state, people need to make sure that they vote. That's the only thing that's going to fix the problems in the state of Tennessee. I feel like they're really far behind. I'm pretty sure that they're working on a lot of the stuff that needs to be worked on, but it's just, it moves slowly through the system.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, God bless you. Keep on with Sebastian, and prayers for Seth. I want Sebastian home with Seth. I believe he's still with us.
Yeah.
I believe that Chris and Katie are not even in Tennessee, nor ours are.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you so much for calling in, Robin. God bless you and your story. And please call back.
Okay. Thank you.
God bless you. Bye-bye. All right. I think we have 2 more calls. We can take 2 more calls if you guys would like to come in or call in. Cops that either lie about garbage truck is not enough to know garbage pickup residential. Yeah, I know. That was bad. This is Betty. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Nashay from Nashville, Tennessee.
Hey, Nashay, how are you doing?
I'm great.
So I was hearing some people in the chat. I wasn't able to follow what was going on in the chat. You want to just fill me in?
Yes, ma'am. So I emailed you, I think it was one day last week, and you sent me the national, I can't remember the exact email you sent me, but it was about the psychics and who is who's communicating with psychics. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Oh, that would have been from me. I would have just said received, thank you. I don't know who communicates with psychic. If I remember correctly, now that I know who you are, I think it was you sent several people an email and I was attached to it. I said, thanks, received. And I believe it was maybe Dog's team that wrote back and said, reach out to Steve or something like that.
Yeah, Steve at searchinvestigations.org. Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
So what I got, I want to say it was maybe January or February of this year. I picked up on 2 different incidences, both Sebastian Rogers and Riley Strain's disappearances. I'm not sure if you all are familiar with that. Riley was downtown. He's a 20-something-year-old. He left a bar. He ended up missing. They found his body a few days later in the river here at the Cumberland River.
Yes,
I picked up on him. Yeah, I provided information for that, and they ended up finding him a couple of days later. With Sebastian, though, I found out that apparently he was, just for your sakes, I know they tried to sue you before, allegedly he was kidnapped, sold to a man who I know, him, an ex of mine, as well as a cousin, who lied and told these people that her name was my name. My name is Varisha Nashe. Her name is Jennifer Marie.
Mm-hmm.
She left and lives presently in Grisham, Oregon, allegedly in a 2-story home with a basement. I keep picking up on a boy being in a basement. Somebody goes in the basement. They have cobwebs all over their face.
How far away
something
is,
about an air mattress.
Yeah, how far away is this Oregon property from Ford's Pond?
Well, I didn't Google Fort Pond, but I did Google the island she was talking about. It's about 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Googling it now. You said Fort Pond?
Ford's, like the truck, Ford's?
Ford, okay. Hold on.
Ford's Pond.
And I'm Googling that now, but I actually have been sending emails prior to there ever being a reward for finding him,
mm-hmm.
but nobody's responded. I have heard reports of things that I was picking up on and sending to them, like them going to Virginia. I picked up an Alabama plate, and then you posted about them saying there was a SUV outside. I Googled the neighborhood. One of the neighbors at 1012 had an SUV parked in their yard that matched the description that you were stating.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. She's in Grisham. Hold on. So it says it's about 2 hours and 55 minutes.
Okay.
And it's interesting that you are saying that, because I thought that she's near like military bases, only for me to Google where she lives, and there are several nearby. So there is some connection between the military, her, and trafficking. She's also made jokes about trafficking her own children. She used to live in Gallatin. And allegedly
Did you turn all this stuff over to law enforcement? You called that into the FBI tip line?
Yes, ma'am. I've sent it for several months.
Okay. Because the reason why I'm saying is because they're probably, if you called it into the tip line for TBI or dogs and sent them this information, I know that they will reach out to those areas and start sending some information to find out if there's any, corroboration or anything like that. They'll get local collaboration with law enforcement if need be.
Right. Yes, ma'am. I also included the Davidson County Police Department, because the people who were involved, several of them live in Nashville, so it's a different county for those who do not know.
Yeah.
Sumner County, which is Hendersonville. I live in Nashville, which is Davidson.
Yeah.
And that's why I included you on the emails, hoping that it would bring attention to what I was saying.
If you want to send me the stuff that you've prepared and stuff like that, send it to Bullhorn Betty. I'll check it out and I'll pass it on. Maybe if it's coming from you, and so like I said, some people just turned off when they hear psychic or vision or anything like that. But if there's any relevance, I'll definitely look at it and get that turned off. Maybe coming from me might help them look into it if they're not already looking into it.
Right. Okay. I got you. And I picked up on the same thing one of the other callers mentioned, a boy in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
I've not left Tennessee in years, but last night I saw a child in a wheelchair, but he was like, the ones where you have one leg propped up and one leg down.
Yeah.
That's the kind of chair I saw. And then I'm picking up on something about her sister, I think it's Bradley, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember her name, but
His
she lives
sister,
in Virginia as well.
Faith?
It's Katie's sister.
Oh, I don't know what Katie's sister's name is. Yeah, I didn't go dive that much into Katie's background.
Yeah, because I got something about him and a sister being in Virginia.
Uh-huh.
So I'm trying to see where he is presently. But so far, I got consistently that he's in a 2-story home in a basement space.
Gotcha. Well, I do appreciate you calling in. I do appreciate you trusting us with some information and everything. But I'm interested in looking at what you have. If you want to send it over, I'll review it.
Yeah, I'll send you that. And I also found her address. It is on Google. So I'll send you that as well.
All right, hon. Will do. Thank you so much for calling. And is there any, do you have any insight on why you think all of the sudden the PI that allegedly works for the mom and stepdad, as well as the stepdad's mom, causing all these distractions over the last 2 weeks for some reason? Do you have any clue?
I got that it's really just about the money. He wants the reward money for himself. That's what I got.
Interesting.
His motive, you're not wrong. His motives are no longer in the right place. The more that dog raises this amount, he's holding out. He's not going to help anyone if he cannot get that money himself.
Gotcha. Well, thank you so much for calling, and you take care. God bless you.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, guys, one more phone call. We have time for one more phone call. If anybody has any, oops, let me turn the phones back on. I do that. If anybody has their final words on our topic of conversation here this afternoon, or this morning rather, about the lights, about the distractions, about the abuser's mom is starting to scream that the father's a pedo. What does that mean? What does that mean? I'm very, very, very interested in learning more about the reasoning behind all of these unnecessary distractions in the case that aren't helping find Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. None of this is, right? It's not getting us closer to the goal. It's distractions at best. It's misinformation, disinformation. They're literally trying to make us believe that what we've seen and the information we've acquired over the last 10 months can't be trusted and is untrue, even though it comes from reliable sources and credible evidence. This is Betty. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
Betty, this is Angie. I'm from Tennessee. I met you back in Kingsport when you were there for Layla Santinello.
Oh!
You remember me and my mom?
I do remember you guys. You guys are so sweet, helping us search. It was great. Yes, I love hearing your voice. How have you been?
I've been doing good, and I keep following this. That being a mother of someone that lost a child, due to circumstances kind of like Layla.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand these parents that aren't on TV every single day putting their face out there, because we're talking almost 13 years later and I still cry.
Yeah.
And I don't see how that's one reason it was important for me to meet Layla's mama, because I understand her.
Right.
I'm still going through it. My daughter was 25.
Oh, bless her.
I went into places, my mom can tell you that nobody should go into taking chances to get my child.
Mm-hmm.
And these parents aren't acting right. I'm sorry. They're just not.
Yeah.
So
What do you
I feel bad for them.
What do you think all these distractions are for, coming from left field all of a sudden? Like, we haven't heard from the step grandma in months, and then boom, from December 7th to the 18th, we've had nothing but major distractions from her, as well as this alleged PI working for the mom and dad.
What I would say is they feel like someone's getting closer to the answers, and they're trying to pull them away from the answers.
I think you might be right.
That's exactly what it is. I went through it, so I know. They'll tell you to look over here when you should be looking right next to you sometimes.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is. I'm sorry, I'm kind of nervous.
That's okay. You don't have to be nervous. You know what? So I was just going to say, a lot of people don't realize, but when you were with me on my birthday. You were with me on my 44th birthday, and we had to have cake out in the middle of the parking lot because we were searching.
I know. Yeah, you're my daughter's age. My daughter's 44. So
well, I just turned 45. It's been a year, but I was turning 44 out there in that parking lot. It sure was. It was my birthday, and we were searching for Layla.
I remember we kind of were slow when y'all got ahead of us, and we just asked some questions from around where we were at, like at the restaurant and all that, and then we just waited on you to come back.
Yep. And we did some searching.
I feel for her mom. I feel for Layla's mama every single day.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even imagine. Our grandson, he's 13, going to be 14 now.
Yeah.
So we've had him since a baby. And so I can only imagine what she's going through.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Any final words on the case before we close out the show?
I say if anyone knows anything, money or not, they should tell, because we got a father out there definitely is hurting. I can't say so much about the other side because I'm not seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
I just think someone needs to step up and tell the truth.
Amen. Amen. Somebody
Tell
needs
the
to come
truth.
forward.
Because even when his dad finds the answers,
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid it's something that's going to affect him the rest of his life.
I agree. And that's a very scary thought for me, you know, because I've you know, become friends with Seth, and it's hard, and that's what I did with Layla's mom too. You know, I become friends with them, and it impacts you so much more when you have a personal relationship with the victim's family. It just, you know, you feel like they're part of your family, and I know we make them part of all of our families when we cover these cases, because we dive so deep in the cases. It feels like we know these people, so it's been weighing on my mind, and it's hard to even think about.
It's very hard,
Mm-hmm.
very hard. But I appreciate everything you do, and I keep up with you. So.
Well, thank you. I love it. I love it. It's so nice to hear from you. I can't wait to see you again.
Okay, thank you for taking my call.
God bless.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Wow, a blast from the past. I can't believe it. I haven't seen her in a year. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So, all right, guys. Well, that's really the show for today. I just want to thank all the people that participated. I wanted to also thank Rod for the super sticker, as well as Julie for being a 22-month member. God bless you, Julie. God bless you. Everybody else, have a happy Wednesday, hump day. We're going to be sliding into the weekend. And I hope you guys come back later this afternoon where we discuss this case a little bit further. I'm interested in why all these distractions. Why did the grandma come out of the bushes? In the last 2 weeks, she's been a chatty Cathy. So what are the reasons for it? There's got to be something. There's got to be something. All right, guys, God bless you. Do not listen to the distractions, misinformation, and disinformation campaigns coming from the mom and stepfather and company and their cohorts. This is nothing more than distractions at its best. There's a reason for these distractions, even though we really don't know why those distractions are rearing their ugly head. We have to think that something is going on behind the scenes that are making them concerned, that they need to shift focus. They need to drive a narrative. And I don't think this unscrupulous PI or the mom, the step grandma, has what it takes to distract us from the truth. We've been on this case for a very long time. We've taken a deep dive into it. We feel like we know every single nook and cranny of this case until new actual factual information comes forward. We're going to continue to believe in the factual information that has been before us, not this horse garbage, this nonsense that are just words with no verifiable receipts for the statements. So don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. If you know anything about this case, please, please, please step forward. $250,000 could be yours if you have the nugget of information that finally gets this case where it needs to be, and that's bringing Sebastian home and justice for Sebastian from the people that have done such great damage to him mentally and physically. So, you know, it is the holidays. I really do want you guys to take care of yourself, but we do need to be kinder to other people and show some grace. It's hard to show grace for these yahoos because they don't really care anything but distracting from the truth when it comes to an autistic 15-year-old boy, a medically needy 15-year-old boy, and we just can't have it. So we're going to keep bringing this truth while they keep trying to distract from it. God bless each and every one of you. Until next time, take care. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you, God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.